Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, everybody. I'm gonna give y'all a second to hop in the room. Join you guys briefly. I haven't been posting as much, haven't been on as much. Been working diligently on that course, so just want to give y'all an update real quick before it goes live. So I'll give y'all a minute. I'll give people a minute to hop on the live. All right. So peace, y'all. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing out there? Peace, peace, peace. To all my wonderful peoples out there. How are you all doing today? Hope you guys are fantastic. Hope you guys are fantastic. Magnificently well. I love that answer. Peace, peace, peace. So I wanted to hop on for a minute, very briefly, kind of give you guys an update. I wanted to update you all as far as the course. Now the course is set to start today. I did announce on my story that it should be ready and live by 6 p.m. I do believe that you can already get access into the course as of now. So just a little layout on how it's going to go. We're going to do it. It's pretty much a 5-week course. We're going to introduce new material weekly. So the material for week 1 is already up. Now, there is one section that is not there. And what I have decided to do is to do a live Zoom on Friday to cover that class live. So that particular lecture or class will be live. Now, if you can't make the class, if you can't make the live, that's fine. It's going to be recorded and it will be placed on the website, the same place where you are able to see the other material. So that's nothing to be concerned about. If you can't get on the Zoom call, that's perfectly fine, because I want this to kind of be something that you do at your own pace, because the information can be so intricate, right? It can be so intricate, and it's something that you have to sit with. So that's just, a little bit as far as an announcement, as far as the astrology course. I've been heavy on it, so I haven't been making as much content over the weekend and whatnot, just to make sure that it's been well. We did have some hiccups, I will tell you. Me and the hubby, we definitely did run into some hiccups, but we weren't going to allow it to stop us, of course. So we did make sure to meet the deadline to be able to have that ready and available. So it's going to be a good 5 weeks. It's going to be a lot in it. Now, the numerology course is going to start on the 19th, which is Friday. So, and the numerology course is 4 weeks. So that is starting on Friday. That access will be available on Friday. But I do look forward to building with the community with you all. We will have a private Facebook group as well, where we will interact and engage. And so it's just a lot of places to interact and engage with each other and to build on what it is that we are learning. So I wanted to make sure I gave y'all enough, that's my Virgo nature, trying to be perfect and everything. So I wanted to make sure that I fulfilled, myself in teaching it adequately. So, which, I would appreciate all the feedback from everybody who does, as far as any type of feedback, I would greatly appreciate it if you are in the course. So that would be cool as well. So that's just the first things first. I wanted to get that out there. That course is ready and will be available 6 o'clock if you purchased it. So I want you to be checking your email. You should receive an email that will excuse me, y'all, I'm tired. But you will receive an email that will provide you with the details to how to get access to it. Is there an agenda or a list of content? It is, but you don't see it until you get in the course. So I may release that what it's going to entail in there. So that's cool. I would that's a nice suggestion. I would look into revealing the content of the course to you all, so you all can know. What's good?
So this right here. Oh, okay. I didn't know you was live.
Yes, I am. All right. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we'll talk about it after. Okay. All right. So, and for the most part, a lot of us have an interest in astrology, right? Now, we are just assessing, we are looking at taking a specific perspective on astrology and utilizing it to perform shadow work, because I get asked so much about shadow work, right? And I talk about it a lot, but it still can feel like something abstract that you don't quite understand, right? Now, for me, this is my personally, astrology and numerology greatly helped me in my shadow work. So that was my decision behind, me and Orlando, that was our decision behind doing these particular courses, because these were the perfect tools that we use to help assist us in our shadow work and to helping us understand the shadow and how to integrate and all of those type of things. And because astrology is a good place where a lot of people show interest, it's kind of like a good little middle ground. You have a lot of spiritual people who engage with astrology. You do have some religious people who engage with astrology. So it's a great bridge, in my opinion, in a means of being able to build on something we can commonly refer to. All right, now it's probably going to be well over, how much? I would say it's well over 15 hours worth of content probably, and that's just in what structure, so it's not including what lives we may have or things of that nature. So that's what we're really gonna do. So if you have an interest in astrology, if it's something, yes, it is, it's a beautiful symphony. I totally agree. It's so harmonious. Everything is so interconnected. And that's what I hope to do, is to kind of show how a lot of things that, we already do naturally, could be revealed to us within the astrology itself. So with that sense, because a lot of people do readings, and I'm not against people getting readings and things like that. I will still let people give me transit readings and things like that. But I think it's more empowering when you know how to understand yourself with it. Now, this isn't a course that deals with the transits or progressive or orrery or all those different types of astrology, because it's mountains of it. We're really just specifically looking at how to take the birth chart and do the shadow work. Absolutely, as above, so below. So we're going to take the birth chart and look at how to apply that within self, how to heal from our own inner wounds, how to heal from our traumas, how to balance out that energy that we typically came here to balance. Yes, the link is in my bio. It should be with the link tree, and you'll see the shadow work and astrology course. So it's there. But I look forward to mostly being able to engage with you all in a one-on-one. So it is. I also provide a means for you guys to get your birth chart. Hopefully, you know how to get your birth chart. If you're that much of a beginner, that's fine. So even if you're a beginner, you can still learn a lot from this course. You don't have to be advanced. So, but for the people who are advanced, you probably will, feel more comfortable or not need the introduction to the astrology part as much. So in the initial part, it'll feel like more of a refresher. But if you are a beginner, you can get a lot out of it still. You do not have to be advanced, okay? So it doesn't matter your level, not the way we're taking on the approach. All right, so that's another thing. All right, so before, anybody got any questions about anything, if you have an energy report, right? Energy reports are still going out. There are some people who I may need to contact, or I may have attempted to contact, about making sure that your information was accurate. So if you haven't received it, just email me, or even if you DM me, I'll just have to go through the DMs, but send me your copy of your purchase receipt and your full name, first, middle, last, that you go by, and, you know, to ensure that I'm able to get it to you in a timely manner. Now, if you send it through the DM, I need you to send me also your email address to ensure that I can get it back to you, send it back to your email, because sometimes the email address isn't in there correctly. So if you haven't gotten it, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, keep that from you. I just may be missing something in order to get that completed for you. Okay, so reach out if you haven't gotten your energy report and it's been longer than 5-6 days. Okay, all right. Now I will admit I have been pretty caught up with the getting everything right for the course. So the little pace up, the rate of them going out has been a little bit slower. But please reach out if it's been that amount of time, and I will be sure to get it to you in a very timely manner. All right. So any questions? Anybody got any questions? My sign, I'm a Virgo. Virgo sun, rising Pisces, Aquarius moon. Those are my signs. Inbox. No, I do not inbox anyone about a reading. Any account that inbox you, go back and check it. It's probably 9 times out of 10 it's a fake scammer account. So you'll want to block that. I do not inbox people for readings. So if you received something saying something about I've selected my follow, that's not me. It's a scammer. They send the same message to everybody, and they duplicate every popular spiritual page. So I do not inbox nobody for a reading. Are you in a relationship? Yes, I am married. Been married for 12 years. Yeah, it was a fake page. Yep. So yeah, I don't do that. If you do want to get a session with me though, that I am available for a session. You go to the link in my bio and you can click on a one-on-one consultation. That's a session, so we can get down with the spiritual. You know, we can talk about spirituality if you need it to be more of a structured session, and we're providing you with some tools and techniques. Or if you want to talk about numerology, if you got something specifically that you want to, you know, speak to somebody on that's more spiritually advanced, then that's the means for you. So, you know, check out the link in my bio for the one-on-one. Fake Virgos out here. Hey, I'm gonna tell you one thing about the Virgos, man. If it's a Virgo that do not do no work, if that Virgo do not do no reflecting, it's probably a horrible person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie to you. They probably horrible, man. Because we can be deplorable people because we all right a lot of times. So it wasn't you who said DM you one. No, I don't do the DM you one thing. People born with 12 fingers and 12 toes. I don't know. I've heard there's some connections of people that are born like that have a connection to the Nephilim. It's hard. I don't know. It might be it's a mythical. It could be a mystical thing like that. But I'll be honest and say that I haven't looked into that too much to really say that I have a definitive way I feel about it, you know. But I am open enough to say that, I don't know. It could be something else, you know. I don't know. I'm the type of person that I don't hesitate to say when I don't know something. I feel like that's the only way you make room to know more, is to be open, and it's realizing when you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Hold on, y'all. Let me block the troll real quick. So, do anybody want to ask anything? If you got any questions as far as about the course, why you think it should, seeing the number 4 continuously thoughts. 4 is about structure. It's about patience. It's about process. 4 is about commitment. It's about family. It's about stability. Are you being too rigid? Is it something you need to loosen up about or be more flexible about? It's quite a depending on how that 4 is working in your life. But a lot of times we talk about process. So 4 is like, you can't skip steps. You can't skip steps. So when you have to work the process. You got to see it all the way through. Got to see it through. That's a 4. So it may be something that you may be getting tired and weary. It may be hard for you to keep going with it, but it may be saying for you to keep going. That's if you're seeing 4s. If you're seeing 4s, that may be the message that you got to keep going, because 4 is like a trough period. What I mean by trough is like a down. So if a person is going through like a 4 year, it could be like a down year, more like a year where you dealing with only the things that you need and getting rid of what you don't, getting rid of the extra things. So if you're seeing a lot of 4s, that can be what that means. Think about commitment. Are you able to finish things? That's how that goes when you're talking about a 4. But the trolls ain't gonna really pay me no mind. How you feel about having your top 3 being the same sign and house? Oh man, that would say to me that person has a lot of lessons in that house and sign.
Rebuilding the foundation.
Huh? One of the person that asking about the 4 says something about rebuilding the foundation. You may be addressing your foundation if you need to rebuild. He wanted to make sure you knew that. Okay, all right. So what I was saying about 3 top, yeah, that's kind of it's very rare. For one, it's very rare, and there's a lot of lessons in that sign, in that house. It will be something. It would be for it to be that much energy in one place. Something has to happen there. There's a lot of lessons in that around in this life pertaining to that house, pertaining to that energy, all of it, all the way around. When it comes to shadow work, how do I look inside myself and see what's wrong? Well, it's a process. It's a means. It's different ways of going about that. It's different ways. It's just, how is it that you can, what is it? It's like, how is it that you can recognize your patterns, your triggers, and your projections. Projections can give you a lot of clues on your shadow. But see, the thing is, the shadow, you can't see the shadow because you're unconscious to it. So what happens is, in our youth, somewhere in our foundation, somebody who was responsible for us, some caregiver, whoever it was, whether it was a teacher, somebody made us feel a way about a part of ourselves, and we felt like it wasn't accepted or it wasn't approved, and we pushed that part of ourselves into the shadow, and we neglected it and act like it's not a part of us, because that was a disapproved part. So it's like fragmenting ourselves, so we're not able to be our complete and whole selves. Now, when we're children, that's when we're our most pure, but also going through our childhood, because we have to depend on our caregivers. At any given point in time, someone can inflict us in some way. And see, we think trauma has a certain look, and it doesn't. You see, trauma is anything distressing happening to you. So it doesn't have to be on the extreme of abuse to be considered trauma. It could be in a sense of just familial acceptance. It doesn't, the extremes, the variations between the trauma doesn't look one way. It doesn't look one way. So anything that we internalized, that we had to process, that was very stressful, distressful to us in our youth, impacts us like trauma. Even when something physical, when physical things happen to us, it's a point of trauma. Even if it's not under bad circumstances, like let's say somebody's on a horse, or a child learn how to ride a horse at a young age, falls, breaks their arm, right? Doesn't want to get back on the horse anymore. That's a form of a trauma. So what I mean by the trauma, it molds and shapes the shadow. Okay, and the shadow is the part of us we shame, we don't want. So like when we watch a movie, right, the villain is always the shadow. But if you pay close attention, right, there's always an origin story for the villain. Take, for example, Black Panther. We look at Black Panther. We look at Killmonger. In the movie, right, T'Challa was able to recognize that we created him to be that way by neglecting him and pushing him out, acting like he didn't exist. They created that monster, that's how you create your shadow. That's how the shadow is formed. That's the trauma of the shadow. So we have to, it's the parts of us we don't like. So as a man, a lot of men may have grown up and were told you can't cry. Crying is weak and all of that. So as a child, now think about it as a child. So a child can take that and internalize that in a way. Like, let's say they get that from their dad somehow. Not saying the dad is intentionally trying to impact them that way. Of course, he's just trying to teach him how to be a man the best way that he can. But let's say that boy takes that and, that's not approved. I want to be approved. Subconsciously, that's how we think. That's how we feel. We want to be approved, right? So that child disconnects from his sensitive nature. He can no longer, as he grows older, as he gets older and put in the same circumstance situation, he continues to do that. It becomes a pattern. Then when he becomes an adult and he's in a relationship that requires him to express his emotion, express his feelings, now he can. Now he doesn't know how to do that. Now he is emotionless, and when it's needed for him to be that way, he don't know how. He's no longer in tune with it. So that shadow, that's just understanding or recognizing the shadow, So that's just, that's in a sense of when we saying the shadow. Now we're gonna do I'm gonna do the live Zoom. I haven't decided yet. I may make it an open session. We'll see. I don't really know what we talk about, just the shadow. But peace and greetings from Hawaii. Greetings. How are you?
Hi.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm coming in a sec. I'm on live. Go ahead, Daddy. So, but I wanted to get on with y'all because I haven't been on in a while. And I wanted to do a live before the class, to let everybody know that the class is ready. So I'm just tired. I'm tired and exhausted. I've been having a lot of issues with my computer. So I got to do a lot of investing in my technology and, being able to better present this to y'all and everything. Is it an actual class? Well, I mean, I would like to say that it's an actual class. It does have a content that is going to go by. There's an overall mission. There's a goal in what we are trying to learn and what we are going to do with it. And there is going to be live lectures a part of it. All of them won't be live because it's a lot of material, especially with this astrology, maybe some other ones later, but not this one, not this one, because it's just too massive. But there will be some live sessions. I want y'all to bring your birth chart. Like, we need to get down to the nitty gritty, so that way that by the time this course is over, you really understand how to really interpret your chart. Now, you could take that information and you could interpret other people's charts if you like to do that as well. But I want you to know how to interpret your chart. I want you to know how to see energy in your life, because that'll help you to be able to see things in a certain way that allow you to always be able to be reflective of yourself, so you can be continuously progressive and continuously be empowered. I want to empower you. I want you to be empowered with this knowledge, because if you know what to do with it in reference to yourself, it's life changing. It's life changing. It's just life changing. So I just want that for other people. So we got any questions? We got any more questions? And like I said, I would appreciate, I'm not against feedback. So you guys give me some feedback on if things are not as easy for you to interact with. If you have ideas on what's a better means for me, then that is fine. I'm absolutely open for that. Private sessions, but the public lectures are free. Well, when I haven't really done a lot of like live lectures. I pretty much just get on here and I just, kind of do it. But we are going to have to be more structured in it. But yes, private sessions where it'll be more detailed. So I'm really just right now trying to configure what I'm offering and where. So there will be public lectures where anybody can hop on, where I don't mind you guys coming to see what's in the class. I'm thinking about opening the one Friday as a public lecture. I'm thinking about making that one live in public for everybody to join. So that'll be the case. I'm just trying to figure out the best means of us to go about doing it, because I know I have a lot of things that I can build content on that a lot of people ask me about. And it's something that, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Kajabi. Oh, I will check that out. I've never heard of that. Let me write that down right now. Let me jot that down really quick. Kajabi. All right, Kajabi. Thank you for that suggestion. I'm gonna look into that. So, and it will be some materials, like, you know, as far as PDFs, worksheets. I never know what I might include with a lecture. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, because I use a lot of everyday things, a lot of everyday analogies to make things as simple as possible. Make things as simple as possible. Can y'all hear me? Lovely Lords. I see it says no sound. Is it everybody? Okay, I will do that for Sean for sure. I've had my hair now since 2000, for 13 years. 13 years. I've trimmed them twice. I'm ready to trim them again, because they at like my thighs, bro. They too long. They are too long. They too long. So yeah, you know, I didn't really come on this live to really, you know, do a whole lot of talking. I just wanted to touch bases with a link be sent out for the class night for those. Yes, if you pay, you should have received an email already. If you did not, contact me, because I sent out those emails before I got on the live, and it provides you with the instructions on how to get in the class. So if you paid and you didn't get that, then contact me, or check your spam. It might be in your spam folder. It might be in your spam folder. All right. So, but personally, y'all, I'm gonna get a little bit of rest, because like I'm running on fumes. See sparkles or a dart shot up from the corner of your eye sometimes. It's like seeing energy, like, okay, well, since it's like sometimes, and I know it's like you can catch sometimes out of the corner of your eye. It's almost like you can catch sometimes it can look like it's an entity. You don't really know, because you got to remember, spirit is all around you all the time. Spirit is all around you all the time. So it's like a mirror. It's like a mirror reflection. All right. So it's like they're here, but so that's like everybody who passed on, our ancestors. They're here, but they're not here. You know what I mean? So they're here. They're here in a sense, but they're not in this physical where we can see them with our spectrum, with our actual visible eyesight. So it's like within that line of spectrum. So what happens is sometimes, you know, because the mind is the projector, everything is coming from your mind. You got to remember, it's all in what you see from within your own mind. Anyway, that's how your eyesight works. So your brain is telling you what you see. So that's why they put that in the realm when you get to talking about mental illness and stuff, because depending on what you're seeing is in relation to what your brain is telling you that you're seeing. So sometimes you can catch, because some people can see energy. Understand? Some people can see energy. Some people can see spiritual energy around them. You finished already? What you cook? Oh, okay. Oh, my bad, y'all. My bad. But, you know, and depending on, and see, that's what they say, the third eye is in the sixth sense. You know, you've seen the movie Sixth Sense. So in the movie, I can hear you right there. So in the movie, he could see dead people, right? Because he could see people that weren't there. He was seeing in another realm. So to speak, your third eye is like your sixth sense. It allows you to be able to see spiritually. Now, sometimes that do register in the physical, and you see some things. Now, some people say that you can catch archons. Now, what I mean by that is, see, archons are like alien or interdimensional entities that feed off of your emotional outbursts. What's that movie we watched where all the things was around people when it was like a bad death? Odd Thomas, right?
Yeah, Odd
It's
Thomas.
like Odd Thomas. So it's like whenever people are talking about vampires, when they talk about energy vampires, right? It's not always just talking about people who feed off of your energy when they engage with you because they it's as in a transactional exchange. It's not always the case. It's not always the case because we have, like I say, they say they are archons, and what they are saying as the builders of this physical reality. And so what they do is project certain things into humanity and make us react in certain ways emotionally, and we become like food because they feed off of the emotional energy like a battery. It's like the Matrix. Like when you see the Matrix, really, the way that they were and they changed the people in the batteries, it's the same thing. It's just in a sense of energy. It's just understanding it from an energy standpoint. So when things happen, it's like a pendulum. It's like a pendulum, right? So we know things are always going to happen to have us swaying. That's why the same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. Because if you are attached to a thing, right? If the opposite thing happens, then you're going to have the opposite reaction. Because it's all about the attachment. So life is about the balance, finding the balance in between. So that way that you're not as swayed either way. Or to swing, or for your pendulum to swing slower. In a sense, so you're not as affected. That's the case. Even when it comes to being extremely happy. Because happiness can be floozy. Happiness can be eluding to you. And depending on what you're basing your happiness on, that's what happens with a lot of people who don't go through a lot of struggle early in their life. So they never really have to deal with it. And then when things happen in life and they have to deal with an enormous amount of negativity, they've never been in that space before. And they don't know how to handle that swing. And that's how you get people who have mental breakdowns and they have midlife crisis, or they fall into a depression because they don't know how to bring themselves back. So when you master your mind, you're able to learn how to bring yourself back to the center. Because that's why I say everything they do is to toy with your emotions. So why do we see what we see predominantly shown to us on the news? Because to play with our emotions. So all of these things, is to kind of keep us in this just like this. So, and it's like, you got to always remember your pendulum is going to swing. So if something happens, you get a whole lot of money, and all of a sudden you super happy. You've allowed this event to swing your pendulum in one direction. Now, the way the unity, this is why this is a flawed world. This is why this is a flawed physical reality. See, that's why the Gnostics was so against this physical, because eventually it has to swing back the other way, and you have to bring yourself back into the balance. And people can't always handle that swing, that opposite swing. And that's when people snap sometimes. That's when you get people and they snap and they be like, damn, he snapped. Because they can't handle it. It's the mind is such a delicate thing. It's powerful, but it's delicate. And see, these traumas and these stresses and these situations fragment our minds. And it ain't always easy to bring yourself back into the center. So that's why it's always best to be balanced. That's why the Buddhists talked about detaching. Because it's like, well, if you don't want nothing, you ain't going to be swayed for nothing. You just be what you is. So that's why a lot of people who have a very, very strong sense of spirituality, who just really want to be balanced, really go the Buddhist route. Because the principles that they teach is best in showing it. It's best in showing you how to be balanced, because it's about detaching. But when you live in Western society, right, it's really hard to be detached, because this is the world we live in. This is the land of milk and honey. This is where capitalism, people will break their necks to get here. We can complain. Listen, we can complain that it's a McDonald's on every corner, but it's some people who will die to get here so they can just have a choice of a McDonald's on every corner. So it's all in how you really choose to look at it. It's all in how you choose to look at it. But in this society, everything is go, 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 go. It's capitalism, capitalism. It's competition, competition. And it's not that that's all bad. But when we're out of balance in one way, it is bad. it is bad. That's why we suffer so much when it comes to, terms of holistic, in terms of being more spiritual. We are way more left brain, left centered than we did with the right brain. So it's kind of all in what it is. But, it's all in a sense of remembering that it's kind of like your birth chart is like a reminder that you came here. See, it's all in how you interpret your spiritual journey. It's all in how you interpret your spiritual journey. That's going to play a major factor in a lot of things, in the way a lot of people perceive things. That's why some things are for some people and some things are not. And that's all right. But see, I feel like when you understand yourself, when you're able to look and see why you are the way that you are, it provides a light that allows you to be able to let people be within their own selves as well. Oh yeah, they definitely want us to reincarnate here. They definitely want us to keep it going, just to keep the whole system going, just to keep it fully going. So I absolutely agree with you on that. I absolutely do. Yeah, McDonald's is very addicting. And see, the thing about it is, the way they get you is how affordable it is, how convenient it is. Like, that's how they get you. Because to really truly to eat healthier, you have to have resources. You have to be able to get to these locations. Like a lot of these things play a factor, because you got a lot of people that's in food deserts. You got a lot of people that's in areas where don't have access to healthy food. See, we learned a long time ago that they send food out based on the UPC code. So they know where that McDonald's is. They know where that Food Line of Walmart is. We know that they know that, and that's how they identify who and where they're seeing things. They literally have everything is demographics. Everything is numbers. They know where who and everybody is and who's buying what and where.
Even down to credit.
Like, yeah, exactly. Even down to credit. If you have a business in a certain zip code, you may have better opportunity or better financial options versus being in a poorer zip code. We know that this is how this world is set up. We already know how it goes. Yep, they double everything. And then they get us because now they've infiltrated the wellness market. So now the greedy people, now they know that you have people who are trying to be more healthy. And they've come into the healthy space, parading foods as being healthy that's not. Using labels and terms that people are going to misinterpret as being more healthy when it's not. Just because something says all natural doesn't mean it's healthy. That's the games that they play. And they're making it more and more difficult for us to even grow our own food. It's becoming more and more difficult. The land is becoming more and more unattainable. If you can get some land, I would advise you to get land if you can. If you can get land, get land. If you can. As far as learning how to grow your own food, that's empowering. And it's not just about your body either. It's also in terms of spiritual. In a spiritual sense, tending to the land, growing your own food has a very strong spiritual aspect to it. It's a lot of spiritual lessons in that. See, a lot of our ancestors tended to the land. For a lot of us, that's in our DNA. That's why a lot of us right now are going through generational poverty. Because our families had land and they don't have that land no more. They got into the industrial and they just, the land was gone. They sold the land for next to nothing. Why? Because it was pretty much, done to them in that way on purpose. It was done on purpose.
Fell for the okie doke again and went to go work for them still.
I mean, they did, and in some sense though, they made it extremely difficult for them to even maintain. See, you got to think about it too. Back in our grandparents and great grandparents, they had a lot of kids. So those kids and everything would tend to the land. But generations, I guess,
most of them
they didn't want to do it. No, they didn't want to do it anymore.
So when we talked to your grandmother about that.
Right, I had that conversation with my grandmother. She was like, we didn't want to keep tending to that land. And see, now I'm at the point at my age, I wish I had land to go to utilize for my kids, to build something for my kids. So it's like a circle. But I feel me healing my generation though. I feel me healing my lineage. And a lot of y'all are probably experiencing the same thing. That's why y'all the black sheep. That's why y'all feel the way you feel, because you're healing your lineage. So it's going to be opposition against you, because you are healing the trauma. You are healing the dysfunction. See, we have come accustomed to functioning within the dysfunction. That's all out of the shadows. See, that's why we the black sheep, because we no longer wanted to accept the dysfunction. We say, I don't want this dysfunction, because if you don't accommodate your role that has been set for you, then the love is removed. It's like a conditional love. You feel unloved anymore. That has to be healed. A lot of us are going through that. It has to be healed within our family lineages. It does. It's a very big part of breaking generational curses. It's breaking away from traditions and things that's been handed down in our families. Now, some people's families, some people have abuse in their families that has to be healed. You can see that in a birth chart. You can see what's handed down. You can see generational. You can see ancestral lineage in a birth chart. See, that's why I'm big on understanding astrology, because you can see it in there. Now, you shouldn't make it religious. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't live according to, every sense of what the moon. You shouldn't be that way. You have to learn it to become sovereign. That's true sovereignty. True sovereignty is learning how to reign over yourself, how to govern oneself. Because right now, without knowing your projections, without knowing your triggers,
you're being governed by your chart.
You're being governed by the gods, which are the planets. It's the planets. So all you're doing is learning self-mastery. You're just learning how to master yourself, because there are things that come up in you that come up for a reason, because it's trying to bring out a transformation in you. There are some things that are very painful in life that you have to go through in order to transform. You can see all these things in a birth chart. You can see where somebody struggled going through school. You can see somebody being bullied. You can see someone that's abused. You can see someone who struggles with being their true self. You can see someone not able to be stable in their career. You can see these things in a birth chart. To me, that's powerful. The Pisces has the psychic, their strength is their psychic ability, their intuitive nature. You see, the Pisces is everything that's mysterious. When you think about everything mystic, everything mysticism, everything really spiritual, that's Pisces energy. Pisces is about connecting back to the whole from a soul perspective, because it's the last zodiac. So it understands that this is the end. There's the next thing. Now, if you went to, Sidereal, where there's the 13th. Now, see, that's a different perspective. That's a different concept. But still, it still all reigns the same, because when you understand energy, you can still see these things in the chart. I've looked at both of my charts, Sidereal and tropical, and I can see both. I can see different things in both of the charts. But I gotta wrap this up though, y'all. I gotta wrap this up. We're gonna talk more. We're gonna do more on the astrology talks for sure. Absolutely. I got a lot more in store for y'all. So just be on the lookout when you see the lives, especially if astrology is something that you find some type of interest in, or if you are the type of person who are looking to deal with depression, anxiety, the darker side of things, really trying to heal, you will find these lives helpful as well. So but and I think I'm gonna share I'll share a segment. I think I'm gonna share a segment from the course and kind of let y'all know. But I keep y'all updated if I decide to do Friday's lecture live public. So I will keep y'all updated for that. Okay, I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate you guys stepping in for a minute, just lending me your ear. I do appreciate you all. I appreciate the exchange. Thank you so much. So anybody have any questions? I prefer email, so shoot me an email to contact me. And again, if you got an if you purchased the energy report and haven't received it, then email me, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I will holler at y'all later. Peace.